It's Tom Coughlin.
It is.
That's what we were just talking about. The reason why Jacksonville is getting better, it's him. He was the guy that put them on the map the first time.
No question about it.
Went to the Giants, got himself a few Lombardi things up there, and came back, right?
Read his book. Tremendous family man. Tremendous
Leader.
Focus as far as to detail, like to the point where some players thought maybe it was too much like the military. Very successful. Enjoyed reading the book. Never met him. Did play against one of his assistant coaches that I think maybe at Jacksonville. Young man from Beaver that was one of the best running backs there.
All I can say is the Giants, my favorite, next to the Steelers, because of the Rooneys and the Mara family.
Sure.
Where are they now without Tom Coughlin? They're over.
Yeah.
So the guy obviously still got a lot of football because with every game to coach, there's hope. All right. Paul Pizlesny, Hopewell, Penn State. The kid I could call him on his cell phone right now, and he would pick up because that's the kind of kid he is.
That's the kind of kid he is.
Still playing at a high level. That's pretty impressive, isn't it?
Absolutely. Went through an injury, overcame it.
Right.
Just what he did throughout his career, how he, you look back at those Hopewell years and how he carried that team, and goes to Penn State, how he got that defense to rally around him, and down in Jacksonville. I think for him that having Coughlin back there is going to help him tremendously.
Listen, when my daughter played basketball at St. John, my son would always go to Our Lady of Fatima to watch the games in the far part of the gymnasium, big picture of him because he went to school there. And I couldn't have been more proud of my own son because, not only is he a great athlete, he's a great human being. And that goes a long way. Jacksonville 2-2, coming off 23-20 loss to the Jets. Blake Bortles, 15 of 35, 140 yards, 1 touchdown. The offense seems to have at least found its way, and I think a lot of that is because of Tom Coughlin and, of course, their coaching staff. Leonard Fournette, 86 yards against the Jets, big reason why, receiving 59 yards, and he did score. Jags averaged about 27.2 a game and 372.8 yards. And Steelers, 3-1, 26-9 win over Baltimore. Le'Veon Bell, 144 yards. Juju Smith-Schuster, kid out of USC, second rounder, 47 yards receiving and a touchdown. Bell, 42 yards catching the football. Jesse James, tight end out of Penn State, 40. Steelers average about 22 points a game. Yardage as far as per game, 322. 1 o'clock, Heinz Field. They're a 9-point favorite. We'll be at the Rivers Casino, Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday show. Of course, the black and gold end zone. So come on over to the Wheelhouse and spend a little time with us. We'd love to see you. Listen, Le'Veon Bell, what is it about this guy? Now, people are complaining because, he sat out camp and you need repetitions, but I think he's got his groove going now. But how can you really, we talked about this, how can you hit the line of scrimmage like that and waltz up and down and then find a hole and go? What kind of agility, God-given ability, what do you even call that?
It's he's a genetic freak.
Yeah.
He really is. When he came into the league, the Steelers drafted him because he was considered a big running back, right? He's a Big Ten guy. I mean, he has just changed his game so much by changing his body, and I think he's got greater body control right now than he did when he was at Michigan State. And like we talked a couple of weeks ago, what they do is, they're going to hand off the ball. He's going to get it probably 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage. And he's going to sit right behind those double teams, and he's just patient enough to see which way those linebackers are going. When that linebacker on the other side of that double team goes right, he's put his foot in the ground and he's heading left. And there's nobody that has that kind of running style. So close to the line of scrimmage.
Listen, Blake Bortles, kid out of Central Florida,
Sure.
we're talking about. Leonard Fournette out of LSU. But here's going to be the difficult job that he has in front of him, literally. Jags 179 in the air, only 2 teams worth when it comes to getting the football to the receivers. And they also are going to be facing Cam Hayward, Stephon Tuitt, Javon Hargrove, going to make it a very rough day out of that 3-4. That may be the best 3 on the front defensive line that the Steelers have had in at least 10 years.
Yeah, I think maybe when Aaron Smith was there, they had a decent line. I think Aaron Smith really helped the Steelers. And Harrison on the other side. But I guess that's close to 10 years ago. Hayward impressed me. he kind of took it on his shoulders. They were very disappointed with the way things went up in Minnesota. And, he just put it on him. He said, it starts with me. I can play better. Anytime a player with that kind of ability has that kind of accountability and responsibility that says, this is all on me.
Mm-hmm.
And he played. The play he made on the fumble recovery, that was big time.
Listen, the Jacksonville Jaguars have a very hard time stopping the run. So their secondary comes up quite a bit to try to pick up the slack. But what's going to happen, Martavius Bryant, Antonio Brown, they're going to be really wide open for a deep threat. Only unless the Steelers have played the Bears show up. This should be a nice win for them. And with them getting by Baltimore at least the first time, Steelers right now, and the way New England's defense is showing cracks, they're of course playing tonight against Tampa Bay. They're 2-2. You got to think the Steelers are in the driver's seat. The key is when your team has all the weapons, all the publicity, how do you keep their head in the game?
Well, I tell you, they've got an issue in offense, and it's a great issue. It really is. There's just not enough footballs to go around. And I think the difference between being in the NFL and being in college is the NFL season is so long. And it's hard to tell some of these, like these guys are the greatest football players on the face of the earth.
Yep.
Okay? They're in like the top 1% of all football players. It's tough to tell, someone like Antonio Bryant, Antonio Brown, you gotta be patient because at the end of the year in the playoffs, we're really gonna need you. The guy was wide open on that route, but the quarterback is looking on the other side of the field. There's no way that Ben would have been able to see him. And then you got Martavius Bryant, and then you got this this kid from, and then you got the guy in the backfield. He's not too shabby.
No.
And you got a tight end that's starting he just scores touchdowns.
And when you look at this offensive line, the big difference is Marquise Pouncey being back.
He's back, but I think the biggest thing about the offensive line is Mike Munchak. Mike Munchak is the greatest offensive line coach in the NFL. What he's got those guys to do up front, they're really special. I think this team, the Steelers team, and what do I know? I'm a Division III football coach running the triple option. I think this defense, this team is going to go as far as their defensive backfield is going to take them.
Well, as far as distributing the ball, you can keep the ball. I'll live by the words of Al Davis. Just win, baby. Just win. Have a great homecoming weekend.
Yeah, thanks, Rob. Great seeing you.
Good night from Geneva College.